Welcome to Country's Family Reunion 2010. Can you believe it's been 13 years since we had the first reunion? Wow, so many great memories. And yet somehow year after year, the reunions just get better and better. With a whole new group of country music legends, plus all the reunion favorites you've come to know and love, this gathering just might be the best yet. So sit back and relax as we share some stories, songs, moments that'll touch your heart. Welcome to Country's Family Reunion 2010.
Everybody's invited. Everybody's here. Yeah. Hey, if we let Johnny Lee sing, you think maybe he'd promise not to tell any more jokes?
No, listen, stop. I had to say one more thing, because I'm in little David Wilkins, you know. Been working out. I told you I've been working out, 3 months now, sleeping with the ankle weights. And so when I've been, but I did, when I got back to Nashville, like last night before I went to dinner, I haven't been able to work out. We've been here a little bit late and everything, so I went down to, the only store that was open down there was like the Big and Tall store. So I went in there and I asked this lady, I said, look, I'm wanting to work out. I said, you got any exercise clothes? She said, all our clothes be exercise.
You don't want to sing, do you? Buck, you're great. Is there any kind of dancing you can't do?
I asked him if he could do the jitterbug.
Yes, he can.
I don't do toe dancing.
He don't do toe dancing, he said.
Toe dancing?
No, ballet.
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 Ballot. He's incredible.
Did you say pole dancing?
Pole dancing.
He did that.
That's Sally's job.
I think that's what you're doing.
Last year, as a matter of fact, on the Grand Ole Opry cruise, my neighbor, Carolyn, a lot of people hear me talk about Carolyn, we were seated in the dining room by one of those big chrome poles, and when all the wait staff, comes and gets up on these platforms and they boogie, it just seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah.
So we got up in our chairs and we hung on to the pole, and that's as close as we got.
And that's all you remember?
That's what was in the pictures. And we slid down and had dinner. Yes. It was kind of expected of me, I felt.
Ask Shelly about getting hung up at the airport.
No, Shepherd, they have heard that. I have one regret about getting, for those of you who haven't heard the story, when the grand ladies went to England, we're coming through the airport, and it was a revolving door, and it was all glass. Well, I got mixed up, and I went in the wrong way. And so the security, I was going out of a secured area into an unsecured area, whatever I'm trying to say. Anyway, I got in there the wrong way, and so security locked the revolving door down. And I know exactly what a goldfish. Yeah, I know exactly what a goldfish feels like. I'm sitting in there, and I'm looking out to my friends for help. And Skeeter Davis is talking to some fans. She just looked up. Oh, Jeannie's caught in the revolving door, and went back to her fans. I looked over, and Janice lit a cigarette, and she's like, I guess somebody will get her out. And I looked at Shepherd, and she's taking a picture. My biggest regret is I had such a great moment, and I didn't moon her. I should have.
You have.
The security guard kept saying, can't you read? Can't you read?
English? Yes.
Jeannie, I won't tell you what she said.
Yeah, he kept
Yes, I
saying,
can.
Yeah, you have stuck it. You have stuck it. And I said, you're a security guard, unstuck it.
While we're telling stories, I want Helen Cornelius to tell a story. You're talking about Johnny Russell a while ago. I want you to tell the story that you told us on the bus about the time you and Johnny, I think you'd finished doing a TV show or something.
We had just done the Opry, and my husband, ex-husband, had a nightclub in Greenville, South Carolina. So we were walking out of the Opry at the same time, and he says, where's that old ugly husband of yours? And I said, oh, he's down there at his business in South Carolina. He said, give me that number. And he called him up, and he said, I want to talk to Jerry Guerin. And he said, tell him Johnny Russell's on the phone. Well, he came to the phone, and they exchanged nice pleasantries with each other because they like to do that to each other. And then he said, well, he said, your wife and I just finished the Grand Ole Opry, and he said, I wondered, since you're out of town, if you would mind if I take her to dinner. Well, my husband hesitated a little bit, and he said, yeah, okay. Johnny said, good, because we're going to go to the Sheraton, order room service, and hung up on him.
That's great, Bill. They talk about all these golf tournaments, Mo and everybody's talking about golf tournaments. Well, Johnny and I used to be invited to a lot of golf tournaments, but the problem was, if we got, close enough to hit the ball, we couldn't see the ball, and if we got far enough away to see the ball, we couldn't reach the ball. So it was but we went to several of them just for the food,
Hey, David, tell everybody about the time you and Johnny came up to the studio to see Naro.
Yeah, we came up to the studio to see Naro, and so we just got out of the car about the same time, and he said he was sitting looking right at us. And the car jumped up about that high when we got out of the car. So both of us together, we were heavy duty, Sheb wouldn't, he wasn't that big.
He didn't add that much to it.
He didn't add that much, no.
John Conlee, we need another song from you.
All right, I think, thank you. Yeah. Well, after talking about pole dancing and room service at the Sheraton, maybe we need to pull everything back just a little bit. This is one of my favorite songs of all the singles we've had because I love the high morals that is underlined by the song, and I think that if we're going to solve a lot of the world's problems and our country's problems, we're going to have to return to values. And that's what this song talks about. This is for all of us who've ever been to the old school.
Yeah.
I can remember us cruising through town in your daddy's car with the top pulled down, looking so cool. We came from different sides of the track, but we still held hands out back of the old school. We spent all our time together, laughing and having fun. We swore that we'd love forever, 'cause that was the way things were done at the old school. We both made it to our graduation. You chose a college, I chose a vocation, driving 18 wheels. I became a part of your past. You went and married some guy in your class. He was a big deal. Your picture was in all the papers. You made such a lovely bride. They said you were going places, but me, I just went for a ride down by the old school. I got married to a sweet young girl and kept driving for the line. Your husband made his mark on the world, then he left you behind in the big house with the swimming pool. Now you drive your kids down to the old school. Now here we are at the reunion of the class. You asked my wife if we could have one dance for the old times. We're slow dancing across the old gym floor. You whisper it could be just like before. Call me sometime. You ask if I understand you. Well, yes, I'm afraid I do. You say everybody does it. Well, I don't care if they do. I'm from the old school. I'm from the old school, where hearts stay true. I'm from the old school. I thought you were too. Thank you, Don Slitz and Russell Smith, for writing that. Thank you, everybody.
You answered my question. I was going to say, that's one of the best written lyrics I have ever heard. How much they got into that. Who did you say, Don Slitz? And
Don
who?
Slitz and Russell Smith, yeah.
Boy, what a great song.
It is a great one. So I only, you listen when they're pitching you songs when you're getting ready to record. Sometimes you have to live with songs before you know you want to cut them. Only had to hear that one time. One time through, and I knew I had to do it.
Every time you do that on the Opry, the audience does just like everybody did here in this circle. When you get to the punchline,
Right,
no,
right.
I'm from the old school, the audience always applauds.
Yeah.
Does that happen everywhere you go?
It does, just about everywhere, yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes if we're in, if they've had one more, two more, three more bottles of beer, it doesn't. But generally speaking, it does.
Do you notice he pointed at you when he said the 3 more bottles of beer?
There again.
Did you notice that?
What could I do? He had the mic.
Did anybody in this room, and I guess if anybody did, it would be Gene, maybe Jimmy, I don't know. Did anybody in this room know Hank Williams Sr.?
I did.
Billy Grammer, you knew him?
Played one show with him.
Played one show with him. Where was that?
1947 at the Paul Mall Room in the Raleigh Hotel in Washington, D.C. I was with Connie Begay and the Radio Ranchman that I started with in 1947. Booked him in there. And of course, everybody knows he had a little drinking problem, and that some of that was from injuries and whatever. So he didn't do the best of show, but I was thrilled to have met him, And I can't say anything derogatory about him because he came out and did the Love Sick Blues and just wowed everything,
Yeah. Gene, you raised your hand.
I met him a couple times, and of course I would always go ahead of time just to watch the guys set up because I was so just wrapped up in the music. And I got to talking to Don Helms and some of them, told him I wanted to be a country singer. Well, Hank come in and they introduced him. Said, Gene, this young lady wants to be a country singer. He said, ain't many women in country music. I said, yes, sir, I know that, and I'm fixing to change that. And he just kind of laughed and said, well, good luck to you, sweetheart. But I loved him. Oh.
Buck White's raising his hand.
I went to see him first time he came to Wichita Falls. I can't remember the year, but me and my boyfriend that I went to school with, we had a way of slipping in the back way, and so we got in there, and he was in a little corner room back there, and him and Bill Monroe was singing a song together. And so I was hypnotized because the two of them sounded great. And they were singing a song that they had both written. One of them wrote the words, the other wrote the... Yeah. And so Bill got a phone call, and he had to leave, so Hank kind of ambled over, and I said, can we have a picture made with you? And he said, well, sure, come on. And so this old boy I was with, he had this little Kodak, and he gave it to his girlfriend. So he just put his arms around us both there like this, and I know I was probably shaking, but he took a picture. Picture didn't turn out. Oh. hated that worse than anything.
I think it's so awesome that he heard the two of them sing together, though.
Yeah.
And they sang that song. It's called?
Trying to think of it.
In the still,
Yeah.
in pale moonlight, the wind.
ain't moaning right. These lonesome blues I just can't lose. I'm so blue and I'm lonesome too.
I'm blue, I'm lonesome too.
Bill was singing the high part and he was singing the lead. Man, it was
I
chilling.
mean, I can just almost hear that. That had to be the.
That mesmerized me.
Wouldn't it be great?
Bill, I want to say something. I'm going to shock everybody in the room.
Yeah, right.
Again?
No.
They're probably going to throw their shoes at me. Now, everybody knows how much I love little Jimmy Dickens. I love little Jimmy. Everybody loves little Jimmy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to set the record straight once and for all. I have been at the Grand Ole Opry longer than Jimmy Dickens.
Yes. We know that.
I really have. I've been there, will be 55 years this November. Little Jimmy. Yeah. Little Jimmy came in, 46 or 47, somewhere in there. And along about 1963, 65, somewhere there. He left and was gone for 14 years. And so I just want to tell everybody, sorry to bust your bubble, but I love Tater, and it don't diminish my love for him.
You never went anywhere, did you, once you got there?
Huh?
You stayed. You
Yeah, I stayed. That's continuous membership. And Jimmy's been there since 1946 or 47, but continuous membership.
I asked that Hank Williams question for two reasons. One, because Mo Bandy just sang the song. Did anybody, Jimmy raised your hand. Did you know Hank?
No, we're talking about what Gina said. Said, been there 55 years, I've been there 53 years.
Yeah, I know.
That's awesome.
The other reason I brought up the Hank Williams thing was because I never saw Hank Williams Sr. Perform. But I've heard all of these stories about his skinny legs and the way he'd shake his legs. And a while ago when Norval Phelps was standing right here by me, shaking them long legs, I thought, now, is that what Hank Williams looked like when he sang?
Could have been.
I never saw him either.
If you looked at Hank from the side, he looked like a parenthesis standing there.
He's pretty thin, wasn't he?
We were doing a show with Norval, and he wanted me to sing harmony with him on that. So I was backstage doing it. Rudy Gatlin was there, so Rudy Gatlin came in and was singing the third part. And when we got to that last note, I said, "Move out. He doesn't need us."
Thank you, Helen.
I know he didn't want to say that.
You know, I don't think I've ever seen you, and I've worked quite a few shows with you, that you didn't get a standing ovation with that song every time you've done it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, usually I do.
Oh, that's great.
Do you still do
I'm
the old
humbled
Jackie
that I
Wilson
do.
songs?
Yeah.
Narvel?
Oh.
Yes, I do.
Narvel, you still do the old Jackie Wilson songs, Lonely Teardrops?
Oh,
and
yeah,
some of
that
those?
was my second biggest hit, and so I do it, on all of my shows.
Reconsider Me, some of those great songs.
Pardon?
Reconsider Me.
Yeah, Reconsider Me.
You're going to
biggest
have
hit.
to come back to a reunion and do a
I'm
bunch of
looking
those.
forward to it. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we can stop the tape machines and let him do them anyway if you want to.
Norlee,
Yes,
Dwayne's still sitting next to Shelly.
that's okay. She's been so good.
I love them both. You know that.
We get a song out of Shelly West?
I'm ready. Take a flight back home. This is the back home to Tennessee flight. Flight 309.
Yeah.
He was a city boy, and me, I was his pride and joy. Oh, but she came in between. She was a Hollywood dream. Flight 309 to Tennessee. Hold back that song. I think that was all of it. That's enough anyway. Thank you.
Short flight. I said it's a short flight.
And we were cleared for landing.
Jim, Ed, a minute ago, you were holding your hand up in the air. Do you want to be excused, or do you have something to say?
No, I was just going to say something about little Jimmy. We were talking about little Jimmy, and I know some people are wondering why he's not here. And little Jimmy has always been part of our group, and I know that he's missing it now. But he was very upset with the death of Carl, and he just didn't feel like being here. So in case some of you are wondering where little Jimmy might be and why he's not here on this particular series of shows is because of that. But he and Carl were very, very close friends.
Carl Smith you're talking about.
Yes, Carl Smith.
And what a great loss to country music losing Carl Smith was.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's what I was going to say.
No, I'm glad you said that, because so many people I know associate Jimmy Dickens with these family reunions.
He told me some funny stories.
He's told us all some.
Yeah. He said that guy walked in the bar. There's a guy sitting at the bar. He said, "How you doing?" He said, "Man, I ain't doing worth a darn." He said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Well, I sell tractors for a living. Sell John Deere tractors, and business kind of tight. Matter of fact, if I don't sell me a tractor by this time tomorrow, I'm going to probably have to close the doors on my business." He said, "I hate to hear that." He said, "Yeah." The old tractor salesman said, "How you doing?" He said, "Man, I ain't doing too good either." He said, I said, "I got me a farm out there." And he said, "I milk cows for a living." He said, "I got this big old Holstein cow. She's bigger than all of them. I got to milk her 3 times a day, whether I want to or not. She gives more milk than all of them, but she's meaner than a rattlesnake." He said, "I sat down this morning to start to milk her. She kicked me with her right leg. I went and got me some rope. And I tied her right leg up to the right side of the stall. And I sat back down and started to milk her again. She reached around and kicked me with her left leg, knocked a bucket of milk over. So I went and got me some more rope, and I tied her left leg up to the left side of the stall. I sat back down going to milk her again. Bam! Right across the face, she hit me with her tail. Had a bunch of old dried mud and stuff. It hurt like crazy." He said, "I got me some more rope, and I'm tying her tail up to the top of the rafters." About that time, my wife walked in. "Now, if you can help me convince my wife I was just trying to milk that cow, I'll buy a tractor from you."
Oh, that's good. Can you believe that, Lukey?
Little Jim told you that one. I heard a grandpa story the other day I had never heard. Of course, we all loved Grandpa. He could just think of things so quick and just had that quick spur-of-the-minute sense of humor. Somebody walked up to him, spotted him somewhere, said, "Grandpa, you remember me?" Said, "I met you one time on an elevator." Grandpa said, "Was it going up or down?" I wonder, will there be any more characters like Grandpa and Little Jimmy and people like that, and Johnny Lee?
Yeah.
Lukey?
Yeah.
We came off of a show, Grandpa, I was working with Grandpa at the time, and somebody said, "Grandpa, can you play a samba?" He said, "Yeah, samba these days."
We came along at the right time, I guarantee you.
We all, I guess everybody in this place here has done some charity events from time to time. And the one thing that's great about country folks is that they are all willing to do that. Jimmy, I know he has done quite a few of those with me from time to time. Jean, I won't say Jeannie always, but she told me a long time ago, don't call her Jeannie, call her Jean. Charlie Leuven up here, we've all done some charity things. But, I just want to say to all of you that, I do quite a few of these charity events. And I've never seen any bigger heart than Jimmy has got, Jean, Charlie, and anybody else that wants to get involved, you can join me. But I wanted to say that he is unreal when it comes to those things. Golly, he sings so dadgum good.
Oh, yeah.
He just,
And he's a great guy to write a song with, too.
Is he?
Yeah.
We do some things up, in Pennsylvania, for example. that for the sheriff's department up there, they have these boys clubs and all around. And Jeannie and Charlie has done some things for Humana, and but it's great. Thank y'all. I just wanted to say that because the country folks have the biggest hearts of anybody in the world.
Jimmy called me about a year ago. Jimmy and I, Mike Rogers went down to this Mexican restaurant where a friend sang, and we just took over Mike. We sang everything. We knew a whole bunch we didn't know. Sang all night long. About a week ago on a Friday night, it was 8 degrees, 73 at 7:30, and Jimmy called up and said, "Hey, we're down here. You need to get down here and sing with us." And I said, "Jimmy, I love you to death, but when it's 8 degrees, you get yourself another girl singer."
That's the great thing about Nashville, isn't it? I mean, you can just go out and
shake a tree.
You know, pick and sing with everybody. It's awesome.
Hey, before we kind of bring the curtain down on all of this, we've done it. Nearly everybody's gotten up here and sung, has thanked the band, but Mike Johnson, Hank Singer, David Smith, Jimmy Capps, John Gardner, Les Singer. One more time for all of the band that has made this such a great time to be together. You guys are terrific.
And Bill Anderson, the great host.
Yeah.
Bill Anderson.
Thank you. I'm honored that you let me kind of be the traffic cop, and it's been a lot of fun. It always is. How many of you want to do this again sometime?
Yeah.
Family reunion. All right. Thanks to everybody. Good night. God bless.
Thank you. All right.